What's up, everybody? Justin here, sadly, to do another tribute show to another wrestler that is gone way too soon. Has passed away way too soon. The guy had a lot of health problems, had a lot of addiction, substance abuse, alcohol problems. I don't know if he was into drugs. The guy had a lot of issues when he retired. Even when he's in the business, I'm not gonna badmouth him. But even when he was in the business, mostly his WWF run, and after that, the guy was hard to deal with. The guy was kind of a prick. But still, this is a tribute show to him. I respect what he did for wrestling. The guy was a legend. The guy was damn innovative. The moves he did, nobody ever seen before. The stuff he could do. He was definitely a legend as a cruiserweight wrestler. As a junior heavyweight, the guy was really damn good. And he was a good heavyweight too. Who am I talking about? Rest in peace. This is my tribute to the Dynamite Kid, one of the greats. Not just was he one of the greatest tag teams of all time, because he was a part of one of the greatest tag teams. Definitely one of the best tag teams in the 80s, for sure. He was part of the British Bulldogs. Great tag team. Really, I mean, they don't get enough credit. The British Bulldogs were really good and probably underrated. And sadly, the British Bulldogs only held the WWF tag team titles once. They should have been champions a couple more times. They did still team up after the WWF when they were in All Japan Pro Wrestling. They were a team there for a little bit. I don't know how long. I think in 1989, 1990, they were a part of All Japan Pro Wrestling, were the British Bulldogs. I actually am very thankful I have a DVD, the best of the British Bulldogs in Japan. And it's matches in All Japan Pro Wrestling. And I believe it's from in like 89 or 90. There's not that many matches on that DVD, like maybe 4 or 5 tag matches. And the British Bulldogs took on teams like Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and I believe Terry Gordy. So anyways, Dynamite Kid was born. It's not his real name, by the way. His real name is Tom. He was born December 5th, 1958. And sadly, this is kind of cryptic, kind of weird. Sadly, he passed away on his birthday, December 5th, 2018. Dynamite Kid has passed away on his 60th birthday. That's very sad. So he made his wrestling debut, his pro wrestling debut, December 24th, 1975. He was trained by Stu Hart and a couple other people. He basically debuted in Stampede Wrestling. Also worked, all over. He really worked all over the world. He worked in England, Japan, Canada, United States. He worked everywhere. He held titles everywhere. Basically, he went. So he was in Stampede Wrestling for, I believe, a pretty long time. Really long time, I believe. He was in Stampede Wrestling mostly in the late 70s, early 80s. Then he started working for New Japan Pro Wrestling in 1980 to 1984, where the guy, even in the WWF, Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask, had just a great feud, a great series of matches that are just, if you've never seen them, Tiger Mask, the Dynamite Kid, look them up. Tiger Mask versus the Dynamite Kid, look them up. Do yourself a favor. Learn some history of the business. I mean, Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask had some legendary matches that were just great. Great stuff. Fun to watch. One of them, maybe two of them. One or two of them is actually on the WWE Network. Dynamite Kid against Tiger Mask. It was one of Becky Lynch's favorite matches that made her want to be a wrestler. So that was, I believe, that match on the network is from 1981. And I believe it's from the WWF. It looked like, to me, it looked like it's in Madison Square Garden. Because that's basically where the WWF ran all their shows every month, was Madison Square Garden. So Tiger Mask, again, I said he went to New Japan for 4 years, on and off, and Stampede Wrestling. Check out a really good match from Stampede Wrestling. It's on the network. I think I haven't watched it in a couple months. So I hope I'm not wrong, but it's in the Gems collection, Hidden Gems collection. I believe it's from the early 80s, Dynamite Kid against Davey Boy Smith. And I believe that's on the network. Also, if you have the Bret Hart DVD of his documentary from 2006, I think 2005 or 6, Bret Hart documentary, I believe it's called. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a Bret Hart documentary from when he returned and started working with Vince again in 2005 or 6. On that Bret Hart DVD, there's a match with him and or maybe it's the Hart family DVD. There's a match between Bret Hart and the Dynamite Kid from Stampede Wrestling. They have a ladder match, and it was pretty damn good. So after 1980 to 1984, Dynamite Kid moved on from Stampede Wrestling in New Japan, and he went to the WWF, the big time. At the time, my opinion, at the time, they were looked at as the biggest company because they're based in New York. That's my opinion. Not saying they're better than the NWA or the AWA, but I grew up watching WWF. NWA felt more real and was more hard-hitting. They let their wrestlers bleed, stuff like that. So Dynamite Kid had a really good run in the WWF from 1984 to 1988. He was part of the first ever WWF pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, closed circuit event. Basically, it was the first ever WWF pay-per-view. The Wrestling Classic, Dynamite Kid was in that. It was a tournament. Watch that. It's really, really funny because Dynamite Kid destroys Nikolai Volkov in like 10 seconds and defeats him with a flying drop kick off the top. So Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith started teaming up in the WWF. They became the British Bulldogs, really good team, one of the best tag teams of all time. They had a good run, really good run, had really good matches, really good tag team matches with the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil. They just had great chemistry. They all knew each other. They were all related. I mean, they were all brother-in-laws. So they were all families. But they had great tag team matches. Even if they weren't family, they had great damn chemistry. British Bulldogs, only one time WWF Tag Team Champions. I think they should have been 2 or 3 times. In 1988, their last year in the company, in the WWF, they didn't really get pushed. Barely at all. I mean, they really didn't get pushed much at all. I mean, the first Royal Rumble in 88, I don't think British Bulldogs were even a part of it. They were a part of WrestleMania 4 and SummerSlam 88 and Survivor Series 88, but they didn't do anything with them, really, because they didn't win the titles again. Also, British Bulldogs had a good feud and really good matches that I enjoyed with Demolition. So their best matches were with the Hart Foundation and Demolition, in my opinion. They also had good matches, really good, with the Rougeau brothers. And I'll address Dynamite Kid was, I guess, according to Jacques Rougeau, one of the Rougeau brothers, the guy was bullied, picked on nonstop. I don't know if he's pranked over and over. If Dynamite Kid kept pranking him, kept doing dirty, nasty, mean pranks to him, I don't know. But I don't think he'd lie. I mean, he said it in interviews that he got fed up. That he felt like Dynamite Kid was picking on him over and over and over. And he just had his breaking point and snapped. And he said to himself, he told his brother, one instance in a locker room, Dynamite Kid started punching one of the Rougeaus in the back of the head. I don't know why. Maybe he was drunk. Or the guy was having roid rage. I don't know. Again, I don't want to badmouth Dynamite Kid. I don't. But the guy was a prick. The guy was probably on a lot of roids in the WWF because the guy was jacked. Really jacked out of his mind. So maybe the roid rage, too many steroids, too many drugs, I don't know, were in his system that the guy was just kept pranking Jacques Rougeau. And Jacques Rougeau snapped, told his brother Raymond, said, I'm going to knock the fuck out of Dynamite Kid. I'm going to knock him out. When he's not expecting, I'm going to knock his ass out. So he bought a roll of quarters, had a roll of quarters in his fist, and Raymond and Jacques, I believe Jacques Rougeau wanted to just leave, said he's done. Raymond was injured and said he was done, that they couldn't take the schedule anymore, the WWF schedule. So anyways, they got Dynamite Kid backstage. They were talking to Pat Patterson. Dynamite Kid came around the corner. And Jacques Rougeau Maybe it's Raymond. I think it's Jacques. Jacques Rougeau, and of course Raymond had his brother's back. He told him, I heard him say in interviews, he said, I'll be there for you if Davey Boy or Bret or come and attack you. Raymond said he'd have his brother's back. Of course he would, because that's his blood. So knocked out Dynamite Kid. He fell to the ground. He's bleeding in his mouth, busted his front teeth out. Maybe a couple more teeth. And then Vince was pissed and had a meeting with them and made them shake hands and made them make up and agree it would never happen again, whatever, stuff like that. So Dynamite Kid, a lot of wrestlers didn't like him, thought he was a prick, thought he was a dick, douchebag, whatever you want to call him. But that's all I'll say. A lot of wrestlers didn't like him. The guy probably wasn't liked because the guy's probably on so many roids and maybe drugs and maybe a lot of alcohol. That's probably why he's a jerk. So then, after WWF run, they went Dynamite Kid from 1988 to 1996. He actually retired in 1996. I didn't know he wrestled that long. I thought he had to retire in like 1990 from a bad back injury. But he did wrestle till 96. From 88 to 96, Dynamite Kid wrestled for Stampede Wrestling again. And the guy had another fight with his relative, Bret Hart. Dynamite Kid, I guess, knocked him out and punched him out. So then he worked for Stampede in Japan from 88 to 96. The guy held so many titles, held titles in All Japan Pro Wrestling, or worked for All Japan, held titles in the NWA, held junior heavyweight titles in the NWA, was a WWF junior heavyweight champion. That title barely existed very long. I believe it was a New Japan Pro Wrestling title. Basically, they were working, I believe, with the WWF. Because the New Japan junior heavyweight title, I believe, is called the WWF junior heavyweight title. So I guess they had a working relationship for a little while. His Tiger Mask was working for WWF. So, anyways, he held a lot of titles for the NWA, international titles, Japan titles, WWF Tag Team Champions. In 1991, Dynamite Kid was given the Tokyo Sports Achievement Award, or Lifetime Achievement. The Tokyo Sports Lifetime Achievement Award he was given in 1991. Dynamite Kid, the guy was revolutionary, innovative. The guy was damn good for his small size, because he was pretty small and short. I don't know how tall he was. Maybe 5'8". I don't know. Probably he's the same height as I am. I'm 5'8". I'm not very tall, but I'm not a midget either. So anyways, Dynamite Kid, I'm sure, inspired Davey Boy Smith Jr. I don't know if he's a good father to his own kids. I don't know. Dynamite Kid divorced. Had a divorce with his first wife, one of the Hart family girls, and he had 3 kids. I don't know if he's a good father then, but his children, I believe, still loved him and still tried to visit him because he was kind of sick. He was in a wheelchair. The guy's really bitter too towards wrestling. I don't know why. Maybe he's bitter. They put him in a wheelchair. I don't know. Shouldn't have done that diving headbutt all the time, but that was part of his career, and part of his wrestling style was doing that diving headbutt. So I know his Davey Boy Smith Jr. on Twitter shared a picture of them together. He visited them in I think June this year or last year. He visited them, and I saw another picture on Instagram. This is actually where I found out about the news that Dynamite Kid passed away is from Instagram. That's kind of odd, but that's how I found out. Because I went on my phone. When I got off work today, I went on my phone straight to Instagram. I don't know why. But I'm trying to be on Instagram more and post a lot of cool pictures. Anyways, on Instagram, I saw that I think her name is Georgia or Georgie or Georgia. Georgia Hart Smith, the daughter of the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Of course, her brothers, Davey Boy Smith Jr. So Georgia Hart, I saw on her Instagram. She has an Instagram account. Very, very attractive woman also. Georgia Hart had an Instagram post and picture of her and the Dynamite Kid. And he's in a wheelchair. And she had her arm around him. That was her uncle. So anyways, I saw Georgia Hart Smith, had that picture of the Dynamite Kid, and she had a post writing about, and then I thought right away he must have passed away. And he did pass away on today, December 5th, 2018. And then from Georgia's Instagram, I went to her cousin's, one of the Dynamite Kid's daughters. She has an Instagram. Another attractive woman. So one of Dynamite Kid's daughters had a post and a picture of him in a long post saying how today our father passed away. So that's how I found out, from Instagram. I was never into Instagram before, but I enjoy it now. I don't know what good it's for, really. Except being a perv, and a lot of attractive women post a lot of attractive posts of themselves. But for myself, my Instagram is just trying to post cool wrestling pictures or photos of stuff I'm into, like movies I'm watching, or just wrestling posts and pictures of my cats, because I love cats. Love my cats. I love cats. They are definitely my favorite animals. So rest in peace, Dynamite Kid. You will be missed. You've been sick in a wheelchair for a pretty long time, so hopefully you're in a better place and you're not in pain anymore. I know in interviews I've heard from Bret Hart, they've said Dynamite Kid really got bitter towards the wrestling business. Or just bitter about his life, that he was in a wheelchair. So rest in peace, Dynamite Kid. You were one of the greats, and you inspired a ton of wrestlers that are probably wrestling today. You inspired I don't even like to mention the guy's name, but you really inspired Chris Benoit. He was like, he ripped your entire career off and did all the moves you did and took your style. Will Ospreay had a nice post on Twitter about Dynamite Kid passing. So I'm sure a lot of wrestlers got into wrestling seeing the Dynamite Kid. I know Becky Lynch was a fan of his too. I was a fan of the guy as a kid. I loved the British Bulldogs. I loved Matilda. That was really cool. That they actually had a mascot, and Matilda was like their manager, even though the dog had no clue what the hell it was doing in front of all those people. So rest in peace. Rest in peace, Dynamite Kid. You were one of the best of all time.